Hi, I'm Joe, a tutor at HelpingDevelop.com. Welcome back to how to build a membership website. In this lesson, part 3, we're going to be building register.php. Now, the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to navigate to our localhost directory, which is found in XAMPP, htdocs, and membership. Then we're going to open register.php, and I'm going to be using Dreamweaver CS 5.5. Once in register.php, I'm going to change the title to register to my website. Then I'm going to change the information within the head 1 tags to a brief description of what we'll be doing. So, register to my site by filling in the fields below will do. Then I'm going to replace these links with an open form tag, and I'm going to go down a few lines and close the form tag. Then the attribute within the form tag are going to be action, and that's going to be linked to this current page, so register.php. Then method, which is the method in which we want to send the data across, and we're going to be choosing post for this. Now I'm going to insert the input fields. So the first one is going to have a type of text, and now the name is going to be username, as it's the username field. Also, I'm going to be using placeholders to tell the fields apart. So this placeholder will be username. I'm going to close off the field and put a break tag in. Then I'm going to copy this and I'm going to paste it for the fields below. Now I'm going to edit the information. For example, the first one would have the name of fname and placeholder of first name. Then the name of lname and a placeholder of last name. Then the name of email and a placeholder of email address. Now the next 2 fields are going to be passwords, so make sure you change the type to password for both of them. Now the name for the first one is going to be pass1 and the placeholder is just going to be password. The name for the second one will be pass2 and the placeholder for that will be validate password. After this, we're going to have to allow the user to submit a form. So we put input type submit, and that will do just that. And now the value is going to be the text within the button, so we're just going to put register and close it off. Once that's done, we can save. We can go down to our default web browser and go to localhost, membership, and we can click the register link, and you can see that we have the form displayed. When we click register, it just refreshes the page. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go to the PHP side of things, and we're going to collect the data and insert the member. Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be going into the PHP section of this document, and we're going to be writing out an if condition to check if the HTML form has been posted to PHP. So write if, open bracket, is set, open bracket, $, underscore post, open square bracket, within that 2 single quotation marks. Then within the single quotation marks you write the name of our first field we're posting, which for me is username. Then we close that off and open and close the curly brace. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create a new variable within this named username, and it's going to be equal to the same as the is set, which is $, underscore post username. Now this is going to collect the value of the username. Now we're going to do exactly the same for all the rest of the fields. Okay, so as you can see that I've just used $, underscore post and then the name of the input field. Now the variable names does not have to be exactly the same, but I've done it just so it's easier to read. Now we're going to move on to error handling. Now the first thing we're going to check is we're going to check if all the fields have been inserted. So we do if, open and close brackets, open the curly brace and go down a few lines and close the curly brace off. Then within these brackets we're going to do a new bracket set. And within this we do exclamation mark and then the variable. For example, I'm using username. Now what this says is that if the username variable is equal to nothing, but we're not going to be just checking the username, we're going to be checking all of them. So we do 2 bar symbols, and then we're going to do exactly the same. Exclamation mark fname this time, and now this says if the username or the fname has not been inserted. So we're going to be doing this using the bar symbol as the or sign for each one of our variables. So we're doing it for username, fname, lname, email, and finally pass1 and pass2. Now within this, if it's true, then we're going to create a new variable named message. Now this is going to be the message printed out to the user. and it's going to be equal to, please insert all fields in the form below, exclamation mark. Then we write else. So if this isn't true and all the fields are inserted, then what we're going to do is we're going to be checking the passwords. So we do if pass1 does not equal pass2, so we do exclamation mark equals for that. Then we're going to make a new variable or use the same message variable, and we're just going to make it equal to your password fields do not match. Once we've checked this, we can just do else, and within the else condition means that the passwords do match. So now we're going to be securing the values of our variables. So the username, we're only going to allow letters and numbers for the username. Now the most common way and easiest way to do this is using preg_replace. Open and close brackets and close off a semicolon. Now this takes 3 arguments. The first 2 are strings and the last one is a variable. So we're going to be setting it to the variable of username. Now, the first one, you do a pound symbol, open and close square brackets, and a pound symbol. Now you do the up arrow, and now you do the items in which you want to allow. So we're going to be using letters 0 through to 9, and numbers even, and letters A through to Z. And then we just do I after the last pound symbol, and that will allow capitalized letters or normal letters. Then the second argument just is what we're going to be replacing anything that isn't equal to that with, so we're going to leave it blank. Now we're going to copy this and change it for the F name, and we're going to paste it down again and we're going to change it for the L name. Once this is done, we're just going to do pass1 and it's going to be equal to sha1 pass1. Now this is just another, for example, MD5 hash. It's going to hash the string up, but I think this is a lot more secure than MD5 hash. Right, now we're going to secure the email. Now this is done a bit differently. We're going to do mysql_real_escape_string. And we're going to open and close brackets. Now this gets rid of any unwanted characters, for example, single quotation marks, and it puts a / in front of them so they're almost cancelled out. So you just put the email variable within the brackets. Right, once that's done, we can now go ahead and we can check for duplicates. Now what I mean by this is we're going to be checking if the email's already been used or the username's already been used. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check the username. So we create a variable named userQuery, and it's going to be equal to mysql_query, open and close brackets, and within the brackets 2 double quotation marks. Now we're going to do an or die function, which allows us to set a string if the query was not ran for some reason, and this is going to be equal to could not check username. Then we're going to be just creating the query, and it's going to be equal to select username from members where username is equal to single quotation marks and then the variable username, and we're going to be limiting that by 1. Then we're going to count the rows within the query printed back. So we do count_username equals mysql_num_rows, and this is equal to an integer. Then we just set it to user_query. Now what we're going to do is we're going to copy this and we're going to paste it below, and we're going to do exactly the same for email. So we just change the variable name to email_query. We're going to do select email from members where email is equal to the variable email. Then we just do count_email equals mysql_num_rows email query. Now we can do the if and else if conditions. So we do if count_username is greater than 0, meaning there is more than 1 or more than 0 items in the database even, so the username already exists. Then we're going to make the message variable say your username is already in use. Now we can write else if count_email is greater than 0. Then we type in the message variable and we say your email is already in use, for example. Then we write else again. Now this is all the error handling we're going to be doing in this basic tutorial. So now we're going to start to insert the members into the database. And what we do here is we do query equals MySQL underscore query. And within this you put 2 double quotation marks, and then the or die function is going to be a string if that doesn't work. And we're just going to type could not insert data. Something like that. Right, now we're going to type insert into, then the table name, members, open and close brackets. Now within here you put in the column names. So for us, if you were following this tutorial, it was username, first name, last name, email, password, IP underscore address, and sign underscore up underscore date. Then you write values and open and close another set of brackets. Then within here you put in 2 single quotation marks, and within the single quotation marks the variable name. So the first one is username, and you split each one up with a comma. And you do that the same for F name, and then L name, which we put into the last name column, and then email, and then pass1, which is going to be put into the password column. Now for the IP address, we haven't created the variable yet, so what we're going to do is we're going to go just before the query and we're going to create a new variable named IP underscore address, and what it's going to be equal to is $_ server open square bracket, within the single quotation marks we put remote underscore ADDR, standing for address. Then you close the single quotation marks and close the square bracket, and now we're going to use that variable here, and it's going to be equal to IP underscore address. Then for the sign update we're going to do the MySQL function of now, so we don't need to wrap that in single quotation marks. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to be creating a folder to hold all the members' information. Now that folder has to be unique named. So what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be creating a variable named member underscore ID, and that's going to be equal to the MySQL underscore insert underscore ID open and close brackets, as that's the auto incremented ID that goes in with the member, so it will already be unique. Then we're going to type mkdir, that stands for make directory, and then this holds 2 arguments. The second argument is the file permissions. For us it's 0755. Then we're going to be making this in the users folder, and we're going to be calling it the member ID. After this we're just going to print out the message variable, and it's going to be equal to you have now been registered, or something along that line. Now for this message to be printed out on page, the first thing we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create a default variable if the form has not been posted. Now it's just going to be equal to nothing. Then we can go down here and you can see that I've already put it in on line 66 within paragraph tags. So now if we go to our localhost directory, which is found in computer, local disk C, xout, htdocs, membership, and then we're going to create a new folder and name it users, and this is where the users folders will be created. Then we're going to go to our default web browser and type in localhost, and we're going to click register. Now if I just type in my username, it's going to say please insert all form fields below. So we're going to put username, the first name will be Joe, last name will be Smith, and then we're going to do the password or email address as joe@joe.com, and the password are going to be purposely different. And now it says your password fields do not match. So now let's actually be inserted into the database properly. Now you can see that we're given this error saying cannot insert your information. So that means that the insert did not work. And you can see here that I left out the T in first name. So now if we save this and just refresh and resend that data, then it's going to say you have now been registered. And what we can do is we can go to localhost /phpMyAdmin, and we can log in, and then we can navigate to the membership and members table, and you can see that I've been inserted. Now if we go to the folder and go into users, you can see that a new folder named 1 for my ID has been created. Stay tuned for part 4 where we'll be going over the login.php. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Don't forget to subscribe, like this video and comment below. Thank you.